think Hollywood ruined it for us because, the RoboCop in the actual movie, RoboCop actually is a responsive one that actually can shoot like overpowering humans, like so scary. The robots today, they don't do that. They just, for example, survey. RoboCop is about surveillance. They are there for your safety. So the police will get first-hand incident report. If something happened, the police should be aware of immediately instead of finding out about the incident after the crime actually happened, or it's too late actually to save a victim.
We're going through something absolutely historic.
Technologies across the board are growing exponentially.
It's a disruption that's going to completely redefine the way businesses compete.
In the next decade, we're going to lose 40% of today's Fortune 500 companies.
The exponential growth of computing is continuing.
AI is nowhere near its full potential.
Whether you like it or not, that the future cannot be stopped by anyone.
Welcome back to the Future Tech and Foresight podcast. I'm your AI host, Mark Verbenkov's deepfake avatar, and this is episode number 205. This episode uncovers how AI and robotics are converging to redefine the limits of automation. Fareed Al-Hassawi shares his remarkable journey from building digital twin systems in Dubai to developing autonomous police patrol vehicles capable of operating safely and intelligently in complex environments. The conversation highlights the real-world challenges behind autonomy, funding, regulation, public acceptance, and the technical breakthroughs that make large-scale deployment possible. They dive into topics like NVIDIA's role in the robotics ecosystem, on-premise security versus cloud risks, and how intelligent CCTV can enhance safety while respecting privacy. More broadly, Marc and Fareed discuss how cities like Dubai serve as global testbeds for innovation and what it will take for autonomous ground vehicles and drones to coexist seamlessly. It's a forward-looking discussion that blends engineering, ethics, and entrepreneurship, and shows how robotics could soon become as foundational as the internet itself. Fareed Aljawhari has been a pivotal figure in the technology sector since assuming the role of CEO at Micropolis Robotics in 2014. His leadership has propelled Micropolis, blending cutting-edge engineering prowess with strategic operational excellence to drive innovation in autonomous systems. Under Fareed's stewardship, the executive team has focused on achieving sustainable growth and expanding global market presence. During his tenure, Micropolis achieved a significant milestone with its initial public offering and subsequent listing on the New York Stock Exchange, NYSE, under the ticker MCRP.
Hi there, Fareed. Thank you so much for coming onto the podcast all the way from Dubai. I think you're the first guest from Dubai, so it's great to have you on today to talk about what I think are some pretty cool things. So thanks for.
That's great. Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, no, it's a pleasure. Maybe we can start about what brought you into the autonomous vehicle world. I mean, we'll get into it, but you guys are making some really cool AGVs. You have your own manufacturing facilities. You're making your own AI. What brought you into this world?
Yeah, well, see, the company started in 2014. We were just a software company. When we started, of course, the whole project was just a digital twin project. We thought we can digitize entire Dubai as a city, connecting IoTs, sensor data, 3D world. Giving a tool to decision makers and city planners, a great tool to predict or maybe plan something like this. This is how the idea started. It's a digital twin project. Unfortunately, the idea was too early, too soon, and we were dealing with an older generation of leadership in Dubai. Dubai is keep like you see new leadership every year. Actually, it's amazing. So it was very difficult to communicate the idea the way it's supposed to be. But in 2017, we started digitizing an industrial area in Dubai called Al Quoz with Dubai Police. It was just a proposal. And then, Dubai Police took it too seriously. They said, "Wow, this is the future." So that time we built like early stage, behavior analysis and facial recognition models. On top of this model, the 3D model of the city, with tracking timelines, pretty good ideas. Then, Dubai police, they escalated to the highest level the same day, and they wanted they wanted to adopt the technology somehow. Well, it was very early stage technology. Then I met with the commander-in-chief of Dubai police, General Abdullah Khalifa Al-Marri, an amazing guy, like the guy with a vision for the future,
Mm.
for the far future. So he said, after some discussion and like really amazing ideas, he said, why we don't build autonomous police patrols? How hard that could be? And I said, yeah, nothing is impossible in Dubai. Dubai, they built Burj Khalifa, they built the largest man-made islands. Like building big things, impossible stuff is not new. So I said, yeah, let's give it a shot. So we started the R&D project from 2018 until 2020, where we came up with the first a police patrol. It was a tiny robot, six-wheel skid steering robot with early stage autonomous system. It was impressive for us, but not for Dubai police. They said, no, this is not exactly what we wanted. We want some actual vehicle, bigger. So that time, that was Corona time. It's very difficult to keep funding such a project. And then we thought, let's keep going. And we built the M2. We designed the M2 and the M1, the first concepts. Dubai police liked it. They said, yeah, this is something we're looking to adopt, actually. And then we started the second phase of the R&D. The good thing that we learned a lot about robotics, okay, in those 2 years. It was very good learning curve.
Mm.
And then to 2021, I think we attracted an investment from individuals, actually, who was enthusiastic investors. It was good enough. So we built a visual representation of the product, the M1 and the M2, the first prototypes, with the early stage control system. Wasn't really industrial level, but we were giving it a try, and actually in the way we were learning how to develop such technology. Then in 2022, we deployed the first two prototypes in Expo City. That time, Expo 2020. So we deployed it on March 7th, I think, 2022, in the World Police Summit in Expo. And this is where the project actually started properly. Okay. So then we knew what we were building wasn't good enough, because still too early to industrialize it or commercialize it. Of course, too early. And then we attracted more funding from a firm in San Francisco called Mindrock Capital, like $4 million. Was good enough to keep going. So at that time, we decided to rebuild the entire product from scratch. So we built the mechanical system. We started with the new control system, power electronics, drivetrain, new powertrain. Also, we reworked the entire autonomous system as well, the AI model. So Microspot was progressing with the AI software. And then, from 2022 until today, we kept going, like in one shot. Today, we have a masterpiece. What we have today is actually something ready to go to the market. In a few months, our products will be in the market, actually. So this is the journey. Actually, it was a challenge after another. It wasn't easy, but it was a beautiful learning journey, actually.
Right.
Very fascinating. Yeah.
Right. So thanks for that. I think that gives like a very good summary of where your business has moved towards today. Was there anything that specifically drew you into this world, like you personally?
Personally, yes,
Yeah.
of course. It is something amazing, because when I was a child, I used to illustrate cars all the time. I'm obsessed with robotics, Optimus Prime and Transformers,
Yeah.
Transform stuff fascinates me. The level of details, the transformation, any mechanical movement actually is usually fascinates me. So that's why when the commander in chief told me, let's build one RoboCop, this is how he called it that time. And in my head, I said, yes, I will do this, whatever it's gonna cost me. Let it cost me my career, is fine. So actually, it is a childhood obsession with vehicles, with cars, with transformers. Okay, this is where it come from. Actually, it was a motivation. Actually,
Right. So kind of a dream come true to build these
yes,
these
exactly. Right.
RoboCops.
I came from design background, anyways. So I'm a tech savvy from childhood. So from the very beginning, from 90s, and also a designer. So when you bring Einstein and Picasso to work together, maybe some magic will come out.
Right.
Yeah.
Perfect. Could we maybe take a step back and look at like the industry of, I don't know if we want to use the term RoboCops all the time, but certainly AGVs in general. We talked a little bit briefly yesterday how a lot of these AGVs, autonomous guided vehicles, in people's minds, it's usually like the small robot on the sidewalk delivering groceries, right? So
Yes.
maybe you could just spend a minute or so giving a little bit of context to the industry of where these vehicles are actually used. I mean,
Yes.
just to kind of set us in the environment, if you will.
Sure, very well. So, see, it is a completely new technology, new products. There is a catalyst behind this industry called a company called NVIDIA. Okay, so NVIDIA is the real catalyst behind the whole thing. So, just to give them big credit, they deserve it big time. However, worth mentioning, we are also partners with NVIDIA in the Inception program, and the level of support they give companies like us is like yeah, unimaginable. It's amazing. So they developed the industry. NVIDIA actually developed the core of the industry, and we are building on top of what they are doing actually. So that's why it is. So speaking of the industry itself, the robotics industry actually, there's so many categories in this industry. You have the humanoid, you have the cobots, you have articulated robots, you have UGVs, AGVs. There's so many actually, a lot. AMRs, they're all called robots. Okay, so robots means the machine can is a kind of machine that can actually think. It's not just a smart machine; it's intelligent machine. It can make a decision like, shall I do this or do that? Okay, let me do this. Okay, it's a little bit cognitive machine. So this is what robots actually are. A lot of robots, a lot of people, they misunderstood robots when, for example, robotic arms are not really robots. They are CNC machines, okay? They're pre-programmed to perform a specific task. Our robots are completely different. They make decision in the go, okay? So, for example, you have, speaking of the autonomous system, you need a perception layer. The robot need to understand the surrounding environment. We use lidars and point clouds, and we do segmentation after them. Then we do detection. Okay, so you have you have something called perception. You have planning, decision making. So this is what makes our UGV a robot. This is one of them. Plus, for example, because we build different applications like for security, oil and gas, agriculture. So you have to add the AI layer, like using computer vision or large language model, whatever. Okay, it is. So that gives another level of intelligence. So this is the kind of robots we are building. So the industry is very diverse. Okay, it is how you imagine this machine. You imagine on wheels, you imagine it on legs, on the chains, on like flying machine. It depends. It is what you define it as a developer to how the way you define it yourself, the way you design it, yeah, the way you develop it. The machine need to serve a specific purpose. Okay, for example, if you are building a robot that we call it agriculture robot, you need to plant trees, for example, or need to harvest fruits or whatever. They're meant to assist human to perform tasks more efficiently. You need to consider cost reduction, or for example, our machines here, our objective actually to automate large operations or augment them using those robots or AI. So they, for example, you can deploy them in harsh environment. You can deploy them deploy them very high risk or hazardous environment, something like that. This is where they are very, very useful. So it is, the industry is about how you imagine it. Okay, so it's not, there is no guidelines here. That's the best thing about this industry. It's all about innovation. So speaking of RoboCops, let's say, okay, our autonomous police patrols. When we started this discussion with Dubai Police, the reason why they asked for those robots, because they desperately need them. They're not a decoration. Those are problem solvers. For example, each patrol cost Dubai Police 4 shifts, 2 employees or officers per shift, 6 hours each. That's when you deploy a patrol for 24 hours, of course. That comes with huge payroll, huge. Okay, plus those 8 officers are useful to, more useful to respond to incidents, right? They need to. Surveillance is a boring, lengthy, boring job, especially in safe cities like Dubai. Okay,
Yeah.
but they are essential. They're important. You can't operate without surveillance. The police presence everywhere is important. So the public feel safer. Also, criminals feel in danger. Okay, this is the mindset of surveillance. But the second problem we're solving, the shortage in police officers. Okay, there is, in every country there is a shortage in police officers because not everyone qualifies to become a policeman. For example, let's say Dubai Police want 500 they want to hire 500 police officers. Even if they get 20,000 CVs, barely 300 will qualify because it's a long checklist of compliance. For example, see what we are doing, what we're trying to do, will take this lengthy, boring job away from qualified officers, okay, and just give it to robots, because the robot, all they need to do, survey and report incidents, something like this, and also tell the public we are here. Okay, the police is here for your safety. So that this is kind of augmentation. This is how you augment and automate an operation. So you free up human to do more important tasks. This is what the industry is all about. That's, of course, this is just an example. Let's say oil and gas. For example, pipe inspections. You are talking about hundreds of kilometers of pipes. If you have a leakage somewhere, or like a defect or a corrosion, whatever they have, somewhere in the middle of the desert, for example, like 50 kilometers away, you will never know. Okay, you need surveillance, you need inspection, okay, routine inspections. But it's very difficult for people, for human, especially this is a very harsh environment and very remote as well. So this is where robots become handy. Just give it to the machines to do it, right? So this is how you automate and augment an operation using robots. So of course there are hundreds of examples. Yeah. So the industry about how you make this robots useful for machines. They are not about decoration. Unfortunately, many companies, I see a lot of robots. It's about like a bartender robot, or a cleaner robot, like a humanoid, or whatever. Like those jobs still humans can do, and they are more artistic. Like there's a robot can make a pizza. Why? It is there's some operations or some jobs, they need the human touch in them. Okay, you can't, you will always reject them if they are performed by machines. So the industry about automation and augmentation. This is my my explanation. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great to hear. I also think, we discussed briefly yesterday on this. Also, with all the headlines that come out whenever, some robot makes the news, we briefly discussed yesterday, like Nightscope, I believe it was in Silicon Valley. There was a lot of fanfare and media attention about, the first RoboCop, which, looked kind of goofy and the headlines were like, well, how is this going to replace policemen? And if I boil down the essence of what you're saying is, these autonomous guided vehicles, RoboCops, they're not there to replace the workforce. They're there to replace a very boring task that's essential. It's important, but it's
Yes.
better done by robots than it is by humans. And therefore it augments the humans' capabilities, in this case cops, to do the more human relevant, maybe human interesting, higher level task, which is, I think, something that we see across the board in every industry with automation in general, not just robots, but automation.
Correct. I think Hollywood ruined it for us because RoboCop in the actual movie. RoboCop actually is a responsive one that actually can shoot. It's like overpowering humans. Are like so scary. The robots today, they don't do that. They just, for example, survey. RoboCop is about surveillance. They are there for your safety. So the police will get, let's say, first-hand incident report. Okay, there, if something happened, the police should be aware of immediately, instead of finding out about the incident after the crime actually happened, or it's too late actually to save a victim. So they're there for human safety. They just report incidents. But Hollywood, people always link anything with Hollywood, right? So Hollywood said that it means this where we are going. It's not really, because still regulators will never accept such a thing. Like, of course, there are governments that they debate such things. Like, they will never allow any robot to carry a weapon or like collect even personal data or anything. It won't be like that. Those are productive machines, and that's it. There's intelligent CCTVs. This is exactly what those machines are actually. They're just intelligent, and they're with the camera, with let's say behavior analysis or human detection. For example, let's say there is a wanted person. Okay, I mean, you just feed this information, the parameter to those robots, and it will keep looking for this person, regardless if the machine knows who is this guy or not. It doesn't know anything about his personal data. It's just about his face. It can memorize his face, for example. Or so this is what's all about. Those machines don't really violate any privacy, because I can see from the media every time we say something, oh, the future is there and is here and there, and it's too dangerous, and because I don't want my personal data to be leaked out or something. Like, nobody is monitoring you. I mean, it is just another CCTV. It can memorize your face, but of course nothing will happen unless you do something bad, right? So this is the whole idea. So the public perception is important. I think later on people will accept it, because look what happened when social media, like, people keep complaining about social media stealing my private information, whatever. Actually, you are giving it to social media. You don't really care. This is the reality. You don't really care. You want to show everyone how beautiful this dress is, or how delicious this meal is, something like that. You want to share a lot about yourself with the world. We all know, like, some, like, social media companies, somehow they use this data in analysis or whatever it is, but it's nothing dangerous about you, and as a person, because you give this information voluntarily. And unless the data goes to the government, okay, people don't like it. So there's a public perception. With time, people will accept it. They will realize it's just like very friendly technology. It is there to actually to protect me instead of like threatening me. So yeah, this is what I believe. Yeah.
Okay, great. So maybe we can kind of project a little bit into the future. I don't know what time frame we want to use, 5 to 10 years. It might be a little bit tricky to extrapolate that far out, but because things are moving so fast, but let's say that. If Dubai's like a true pilot study in this sense, where they're using your RoboCops, the picture I'm seeing you paint is these types of AGVs are doing most of the surveillance. they notice crimes happening or an incident. We should maybe also talk about the AI understanding behaviors, like violent behavior versus nonviolent behavior, and then
Yes.
human police are then notified and they go to that area where the incident is happening, maybe with more data and understanding of what's happening than somebody phoning in, hey, this is happening. If Dubai is this pilot study, do you see this scaling out, becoming a bit more ubiquitous across the world, or are there specific elements in cities that would prohibit these types of AGVs in say London, or I lived in Barcelona for many years, the small winding old streets. Like, what are there any kind of limitations to this scaling out in the future?
Well, yeah, you got it right first. Dubai actually is a testing grounds for any police in the world. Actually, whatever works in Dubai works everywhere else because they like to try new technology always, and they are very, very responsible when they use them. I like this about Dubai police. So yes, Dubai police will utilize this technology in wide scale, of course, because they, as I told you, they desperately need it because the city keep expanding. You have no idea how fast they built here. Okay, I live here. I lived here all my life, and sometimes I drive by a bridge. Like, when did they build it? Just like I was here 2 weeks ago. They're too like really fast. So
Very cool.
and this expanding city like this needs a lot of surveillance, need a lot of policing business there. Okay, so and it's very difficult to deploy, as I told you. Police forces is not as easy. You need to train them for so long. They need to understand the law. You need a lot to deploy an officer. So of course they need technology. Okay, so what will happen with the Dubai police? I believe they will use it in traffic. They will use it in, as I said, the surveillance, a criminal or non-criminal, whatever it is. Or sometimes they use it in events. If there is a massive events, one of those massive Dubai events, they will utilize them very well. And of course, they will use the data collected from those robots and CCTV camera, because actually what I didn't mention, those robots, they don't work alone. They are actually a network of CCTV and robots together. So they are a single model actually. So all this data will be retrained time after time. With different timestamps, of course, and to create more police intelligence. So of course, imagine in, let's say, in 10 years, I think it will be extremely hard for anyone to do anything bad in the street. It will be almost impossible for someone, because you will be reported instantly, you'll be detained instantly. Okay, you'll be removed from society instantly. This is what I think, because with today's results, the testing results is actually impressive. Imagine what will happen in 10 years. Not only this, when we have more advanced technologies to train new models, and the technology, look what happened since the release of ChatGPT. The first AI ever been touched by, public.
Yeah.
Look where is AI today? Just like 2 years. Okay, imagine after 10 years with that, it's accelerating. So this technology will be extremely, extremely advanced in the future. Will be utilized widely. Okay, in with international scale, worldwide. Even with communities who resist such technology will definitely demand it in the future. That's for sure. And there is something I learned from Dubai police. Criminals always one step ahead of police and technology, at least one step ahead, always. Technology gets better and more complex and smarter. Criminals, way smarter, because they don't follow any code of ethics. The police always need to follow code of ethics, because that is the problem with the difference between police having access to technology and criminals have access to technology. The one with code of ethics, the other ones without. So yeah, that's why they are one step ahead, actually. So of course, you need AI in the future. You need to an AI to overpower criminals. Okay.
Super interesting. Super interesting. Yeah, we'll see how it plays out.
And that's not happening in 10 years. That's happening
Yeah.
in just a couple of years. My words.
Yeah, I think like typically what happens, right? The technology is at a certain stage or more advanced, and then the slow part is the acceptance and the politicians allowing regulations to open up certain countries or certain neighborhoods to those kinds of technologies. But maybe things work a little bit different in Dubai. Should we also touch, maybe this is relevant to what we were just talking about, to how, like, you guys manufacture everything in-house. So maybe touch on that and then also discuss on how that is different maybe for the RoboCops compared to other companies, your competitors who are using, outside manufacturers or, supply chains to help make their other RoboCops.
Yeah, when we started developing this technology, one of the biggest struggle was dealing with the supply chain. We're dealing with suppliers, like integrating other people's technologies. So that was so painful. They almost made the project impossible. So we took like really bold step to build everything in house. So we invested in this manufacturing facility. We invested in additive and subtractive manufacturing, like 5-axis CNC machines, turning and milling, advanced 3D printing, like selective laser centering, 3D printing, for example. Of course, I invest in a very, very, very good team of mechanical engineers, very, very talented people. Also, another talented people of electronics engineers, embedded systems engineers, power electronics engineers, okay, to build our own custom control system. Also, we have very advanced autonomous team, engineers, very, very advanced ones. So we have today, for example, 3 autonomous systems, one for off-road, one for open roads, and one for gated communities, control based. So it depends on the customer. And the way we thought about this product, of course, is quite unique because it is two-part project. Two-part product. It is the mobility-specific platform and the application-specific pod. So we split the mobility part from the application part. So we provide customization. So we customize the entire fleet for our customers. Depends on the use cases, of course, and the operational challenge. So yeah, this is how it is actually vertically developed. Plus, the AI models are actually always custom built based on computer vision models, of course, and even the edge computing we are building based on Orin as well. We're building our own edge computing unit. So yeah, now we don't have all those challenge been like resolved. Like we don't have any problem anymore. We have, of course, we still, of course, we heavily depend on NVIDIA, technology, when it comes, for example, the processing units and edge computing. Plus, we utilize Omniverse and IsaacSim to develop, our autonomous systems. It's very, 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 very good tool actually by NVIDIA. And the rest actually completely vertically developed. Now it means we can control the product. We can innovate on our own terms. This is the best part about our technology. Actually, I encourage everyone to do the same thing. Everyone usually scared, like to know one does this in one place. Yeah, we are one-stop shop. And it will be extremely painful in the beginning, but later on you will just own your own product, and you will be proud about what you actually build.
Hmm. Hmm. And then a follow-up from that is what are the other issues that, say, a competitor of yours is going to face? Apart from the supply chain issues, I'm maybe envisioning something like, if they don't have control over certain aspects of their own vehicle, it's maybe easier to hack in the future. Is that what
They
we're
will struggle when they come to scale the product. They will struggle big time when they come to scale the product. The industrialization and commercialization will become a problem. Maybe you'll be able to develop like few units, but if you have big orders, you will struggle big time. Every time you want to update for a firmware, for example, you have to go to the original vendor and ask them to do it, and you have the waiting time. Or, for example, I'm talking just about updating a firmware. Imagine if you want to develop, to upgrade a control unit, for example, an ECU. It is difficult. Also, or a motor or anything. It's like the waiting time is extreme, and sometimes you develop something, then you realize you need to develop something else after that, then another waiting time. So scale will be a problem actually. I encourage people always to build their own thing, big time, because if you just give it to it's good to work with reliable suppliers, of course, if there is anyone you trust and they are willing to work with you on small scale, then work with you later on bigger scale later. That's great. But if you rely on others all the time, the product will be very difficult in the future. Yeah. So it's very important for innovators to innovate. Okay, so they don't have to like many people. They come up with great idea, but they want to develop 10% of it. That's it, and they leave the rest for it. It's not what innovation all about. Either you do everything and look what Apple. Where is Apple today? Look where is NVIDIA today. Look where is Tesla, SpaceX. Those people build their own thing. Those are the biggest winners. And we can I don't want to name few companies who like try to just integrate like different kind of technologies in one product, then they fail in the long run.
Very interesting. I wasn't going to ask you this question, but it kind of came up when I was asking the other one about, competitors putting together, assembling their things. So thinking about the future here a little bit, and again, onto the RoboCop example, if the future of cities, obviously we're moving into this smart city era, cities are becoming more and more integrated. When it comes to the safety and security aspects of that, that's also going to be happening. Your technologies is going to be a part of that. How important or how essential is cybersecurity and the ability to stop hackers? You were talking about criminals getting smarter. They're always maybe a level ahead of most people when it comes to technologies. I'm assuming here that the future criminal is going to have like their own cyber unit within their criminal enterprise in order to do anything. So maybe you can merge those two together, like how important cybersecurity is for your models or for your vehicles, and then touch on the future of cyber with technology.
Fortunately, our technology, actually, everything we build, it is we deployment on premise. It means our product, our software operates behind our customers' firewalls, so it's on them. Okay, because we talk about police or military. Anyways, we can't. They don't use cloud. It is always, for example, they use. Of course, they are local servers always. They don't use 4G, 5G or something. Usually they use radio. So encrypted radio, L-band, okay, it's high, like it's a military grade end-to-end encryption. Luckily, we're in the right category. I don't know about the other competitors, but the other competitors' robots are not a threat. Okay, logistics, maybe to public safety or something, but maybe logistics. Who want to hack a logistics? For example, let's say the food delivery robot just to steal a slice of pizza, like, right?
Yeah,
It depends.
you never know.
Or BS. Maybe we'll buy that, and yeah, that's true. But usually there is an end-to-end encryption, actually, industry standard, so it shouldn't be a problem. But with in our category, we work a lot with military and police and government entities, actually, where they are well prepared, actually. So they work with us on cybersecurity. Today, the robots get not hackable. We don't know what will happen in the future, because we use radio. We don't use 4G and 5G. We don't use Wi-Fi. So yeah, we don't know what will happen in the future. But as if it's today, it is not a concern for us. So it's for Micropolis. I don't know what will happen in the future, but
Right.
yeah, It depends. So I advise everyone not to use 4G and 5G. If they can use the radio, even in C-band, this will be a very good option, actually, especially for
Right.
yeah.
Right. Okay. Super
Mm.
interesting. I see our time is winding down here a little bit. We've focused a lot on safety and security and RoboCops, which I love the idea. Probably title the episode something about the future of RoboCops or something like that.
Yeah, people keep saying RoboCop. It is autonomous police battles, but people keep saying, said, yeah, we'll go with the flow. It's fine.
Yeah,
Not really.
it's not as catchy as
Yeah,
autonomous vehicle patrols.
of
Um,
course.
you did touch a little bit at the beginning about the different industries, right? That are where these AGVs are being implemented. I know that you have you don't just focus on vehicle patrols. You also have other robots for agriculture and I think a couple other different use cases.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
do you see safety and security and vehicle patrols being the main use case for these AGVs in say the next 10 years, or is it going to be agriculture more, or are we going to see more of these sidewalk little AGVs delivering pizza, or like where do you really see this going forward?
Surveillance, yeah. Surveillance is actually in high demand because there is no actual patrol worldwide. No one actually succeeded to deploy an actual EGB actually with good autonomous system, with good AI system yet. There will be a lot in the future, of course. That's why we focus this with on this product today. Yes, maybe I think 50% of our products will be from this product line. The reason why it's not just police, actually. Even, for example, the National Guards, they use this in, border patrolling.
Right.
Have off-road autonomous system, and this is in huge in high demand. Imagine like has thousands of kilometers of surveillance that are highly in demand. For example, pipe inspections, for example, that's surveillance too. Okay,
Right.
it's not just about safety. Say, it's just security. Also, other inspection is a sort of surveillance. Same technology exactly. So yeah, police one of them, but there are plenty. Everybody are actually looking for, especially when it is in remote areas or harsh environments, very specifically. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I believe it is the most use case for
Okay.
the future.
Perfect. Really good to know. I would be remiss to not mention that you also have a drone pod in one of your AGVs, which is really cool. And I think
Yeah.
from the other experts that have had to come onto the podcast over time, they've also mentioned that drones are very important when it comes to surveillance. But the battery life, I think, for drones is a little bit lacking
Yeah, sure.
now, right?
Yes,
So
exactly.
so maybe this is really the future where you have these AGVs or drones connected to the AGVs, and I think your AGV has like a 24-hour battery life or something crazy
It's
that you're
24 hours.
mentioning.
Yeah. Yeah. And single charge. Yes. 24
Yeah.
hours as calculated like this. You see the drone actually the drone launcher acts like first a housing. Second, it charges the battery. It housing, it means you don't expose it to the sun, whatever is always contained actually. And this is the plus you charge it and you can deploy it from anywhere. You don't need to deploy the drone everywhere. For example, sometime you need an area view for some major accident or something like an incident on a national level. Yes, so this is where you need a drone. But the problem with drone today, for example, you actually need to drive someone with the drone to the site to deploy it. Now, if you have a nearby autonomous police patrol with a drone launcher in it, you can just launch it from there. Usually, drones they fly between 20 to 25 minutes, usually in single charge.
Yeah.
So you need to go back, charge them, or replace the battery somewhere, then launch them again. So yeah, so imagine if you want to launch them from a little bit far area, so you're gonna waste a lot of time actually and battery. So your actual surveillance can be just for minutes instead of like for the whole 20 minutes. That's why the drone launcher is very important for Dubai police today. Yeah. So see, this is like you solve the problem with like we want to solve the surveillance problem. Now we solve two surveillance problems.
Yes. Yeah.
You-
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's like you can really, really widen that area of surveillance with drones and AGVs. So interesting. Fareed, I think that's a great wrap for the podcast. Is there anything that I didn't ask that you would have liked me to ask, and you think that the audience would be
Oh yeah, you
it-
asked very, very good questions actually today, and I mean, I just want people to start think about robotics and AI because it will be an essential part of our future. See what smartphones did to us. Look what the internet did to us as a society. Robots will do exactly the same. It will be. I think people need to start paying attention to what robots can do in the future and get prepared for a new revolution of technology. Yeah. So, and this is exactly what I want people to start focusing on. A lot of people still think robots just toys because yeah, but just give it a couple of years and see where this world is going.
yeah.
Okay.
That's a perfect place to end. Thank you so much for coming on, Fareed. I'll have your website, LinkedIn. Is that a preferred social media, or why
Of
don't you?
course.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, we're not very active online because we just focus on the real stuff.
You're working.
Working here.
Sure thing. Well, I'll have your LinkedIn all the same, and the website, of course. We will put pictures, and maybe if there's any video that we can get into the pre-intro, so at least people will have a little bit of a sense of what these really cool robots look like.
Of course.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're gonna participate in GITEX Dubai, and we'll be in GITEX from 13th to 17th. We're gonna present pretty cool robots there. If people want to visit, they're welcome. Also welcome.
Perfect.
Okay. Yeah.
Perfect.
Very
Well, thank you so much for your time and your insights, for you to really.
Yours. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. Thank you. Take care. See you. Bye-bye.
Well, thanks for listening to this week's Future Tech and Foresight podcast. If you like what you've heard here, there are, of course, a number of ways that you can support the podcast. The best way would be to leave a review on Apple Podcasts or give a rating on Spotify, which you can find a step-by-step explanation for on the futuretechandforesight.com website. Alternatively, feel free to leave a comment either on the episode show notes or the YouTube channel where you can see video recordings of the interviews. And finally, if you are part of an organization that is aware of the disruptive and transformational impact that emerging and future technologies will bring and want to know more, please get in touch to hear about the strategic foresight services that we offer and how we can help future-proof your organization and take advantage of the phenomenal opportunities available to survive and thrive in the future.
A lot of future-shocked people and future-shocked institutions in our society are simply overwhelmed.
Once there is superintelligence, the fate of humanity may depend on what the superintelligence does.
Science fact is catching up to science fiction.
The first truly intelligent machine will be the last invention that humanity needs to make.
The only scarcity that will exist in the future is that which we decide to create ourselves as humans.
Within a 10-year design revolution, we can have all humanity living the highest standard of living anybody's ever known.
Progress is accelerating at an exponential pace, and it's going to reach a point where progress is so fast it's going to be a singularity.
We are probably one of the last generations of Homo sapiens.
Every single headline points to the birth pangs of a Type 1 civilization.